Hi everyone, it's Guama, and this is the Ray is Right podcast, episode 3, where I'm going to talk about the Rogue versus Dumbledore episode of the Who Would Win show, where, if you listen to it, you would know that our man Ray was triumphant against, last poor James Gatsby, who repped Rogue, and Ray repped Dumbledore. Okay, so before this match, I knew I had to do some research because another confession, I actually do not know that much about comic books or X-Men. So, I saw some of the X-Men movies, like X-Men Days of Future Past, and X-Men Apocalypse, and yeah, I'm super confused. I did some research back when I was, trying to understand the whole X-Men universe. And I discovered that there are two timelines. One timeline where they used Mystique's DNA, and I guess a drastically different timeline where they didn't. So that's my knowledge too. I might be completely wrong about that. So the Apocalypse and what's-her-face, Mystique dying, that's one separate timeline compared to another timeline where Mystique's still around, and I don't know, it's see, I still haven't fully got my grasp on it, but that further complicates things because the character in question this week was Rogue, and apparently she gained a lot of powers by absorbing Wonder Man and also Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and she was able to fly from Carol Danvers, if my research is correct. And apparently I was confused because I thought only the X-Men, the animated series, or X-Mentas version could fly, because I saw the Anna Paquin version. I forgot which one it was. I think it was X-Men United or The Last Stand. You can see my lack of X-Men knowledge again, where Anna Paquin, Rogue, was on a plane, and then she fell off the plane because there was a hole, so Nightcrawler came to save her and teleported back into the plane. And I was like, well, why did he teleport back into a falling, crashing plane? And then I was reading some of the comments on YouTube, and they're like, oh, that's because velocity. If he teleported them back to the ground, it would have been bad. And I was like, okay, now that makes more sense. So I was like, okay, it depends what version of Rogue James would pick. And naturally, James would pick the most powerful 616 version that is powered with Carol Danvers' powers. And I thought that, Rogue's pre-existing powers would make it a deal breaker here, because if she absorbed Dumbledore's powers, then wouldn't they be equal with maybe the factor of would Rogue be able to get to Dumbledore? And the antithesis of my lack of X-Men knowledge, I actually love Harry Potter. I was a huge Harry Potter fan when I was a kid. I would read the books and look forward to it and then watch the movies and be like, no, that's not what I imagined at all. I mean, I don't know if I grew out of it. I kind of replaced my love for Harry Potter for my love of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. It was kind of replaced, Fantastic Beasts was kind of underwhelming. I mean, I like the first one, but the second one, and, there's a lot of controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling's comments, and I don't know, I'm not as crazy about Harry Potter as I used to be, but I'm still, think about it. That was, my childhood, watch the movies. Daniel Radcliffe, who now I can't seem to take seriously after Swiss Army Man. I know. It's so bad. But also, oh my goodness, I loved him in Miracle Workers Dark Ages. I haven't seen the first season of Miracle Workers, but I'm looking forward to it. So anyways, this episode. So Ray's 3 points were Dumbledore is very powerful, and even though he's old, he's in peak physical shape. And his point number 2 was Dumbledore is a genius. And part number 3 was just win. Dumbledore wins. So those are his 3 points. He's powerful, he's a genius, and he wins. And then, so Ray waited until point number 3 to point out that he was only talking about Dumbledore's basic magic. He didn't bring in the advanced magic. It's pretty smart. He didn't show all his cards at once, wouldn't you say? And then James' 3 points were Rogue absorbed Carol Danvers' powers, which makes her ridiculously powerful, because as you know, Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, not Miss Marvel, you can tell I'm lacking in Marvel knowledge as well, Captain Marvel, it was really extremely powerful. And number 2, whoever she absorbs, Rogue absorbs, they might get weaker and, might not have some of their powers back for a while after Rogue absorbed them. And then James's point number 3 is that she's smart and is willing to take cheap shots, whatever it takes to win, using underhanded tactics. Which, okay, yeah, I see you, James. You made 3 good points. But, of course, Ray brought up another key point that at Hogwarts, Dumbledore has a home field advantage here because he pre-set up some charms. That's why Voldemort didn't waited until Dumbledore died before he took over Hogwarts. So, see, that's where Dumbledore gets the upper hand. Like I said, it would be a close match between Rogue and Dumbledore, but Ray did it. He pulled it off, yes, and the amazing guest host, Grady James Welch, he made, of course, the only decision because Ray is right. He is always right. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this and you enjoyed the Who Would Win show that I've kind of broken down. Even though I don't really know much about superheroes there. I have another confession. I mean, I like superhero movies and all, but I'm not like super knowledgeable about superheroes and comic books. Like, I enjoy watching Avengers, Justice League, what have you, and, going back when we could go to theaters, I'd go with my friends and be like, oh, that's so cool, but, like, the backstory, I have friends that are, like, super knowledgeable about superheroes, and I'm like, how do you keep track of all these Marvel and DC superheroes? Like, I know, like, maybe some backstory, but I don't know what's going on. But, yes, that is that. I hope you guys all have a great day. Bye.